Hello, you're watching Monday edition of News Mongolia. Today is March 21st. For our top stories, Ovs buckthorn receives European Union Protected Geographical Indication certification. MIAT cabin crew members attend a training for emergency water landing procedures. Rank of brigadier general given to a female officer for the first time in Mongolia. For other news, stay tuned. Sea buckthorn grown in Ovs province has been registered with the European Union's Protected Geographical Indication Program. PGA certification is granted to select agricultural and food products that have specific geographical origin and a distinct reputation for quality, emphasizing the relationship between the name of the region and the name of the product originating from that region.
Protected geographical indications protect the registered products from misuse or imitation of their brand name and provide customers with a guarantee of the true origin of the product. These rules ensure that all producers in the given geographical area have collective rights over their product, as long as certain requirements are met. By registering sea buckthorn grown in Ovs province as a product with specific geographical origin and reputation, local producers can introduce their products to wider audience and export them to the European market.
This certification proves that sea buckthorn grown in Ovs province is a specific, unique product. It's believed that we have enough resources for exporting sea buckthorn products. Rather than exporting unprocessed sea buckthorn, it's more profitable to export value-added products. We believe that Mongolia grows $10 million of sea buckthorn each year.
Ovs province sea buckthorn producers harvest 40% of their berries from wild bushes and 60% from their cultivated bushes. Annually, 800 to 1,000 tons of sea buckthorn are harvested from 600 hectares.
Currently, we are implementing a self-funded project in Ovs province to open a berry processing factory. With the factory's launch, it will be possible to process 1,000 tons of sea buckthorn annually. It will allow exports to South Korea and create jobs for 40 people.
With support from the Association of German Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the province opened its first jam factory last year. The jam factory has a daily output of around 10,000 units of product for the domestic market.
Working as part of the cabin crew for a major airline is an exciting and challenging experience. With the perk of jetting off to exotic destinations, the job requires a high degree of responsibility and specialization to ensure the safety and comfort of passengers, in line with industry regulations. MIAT Mongolian Airlines recently organized rescue and safety training for its cabin crew members.
The training focused on procedures for the emergency landing of a plane on water and assisting passengers. There was a special emphasis on procedures for how crew members should handle unusual situations during a flight, with the course's final module covering useful tips for passenger safety.
There were tips on how to evacuate passengers before a plane sinks and to get them to a safe zone at least 100 meters from the sinking plane. Special techniques and methods were taught during this training. This is the first training of 2022 organized at the Mongolian Civil Aviation Authority facility.
There are 150 pilots and more than 300 cabin crew members certified by the Mongolian Civil Aviation Authority.
This kind of training is conducted in accordance with the guidelines from the Civil Aviation Authority and follows International Civil Aviation Organization standards. Annually, we spend $1 to $2 million training our cabin crews abroad. Now we are able to conduct professional training domestically.
On average, similar cabin crew member training abroad costs around $1,500 per person.
The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases provided its daily updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. For the last 24 hours, 35 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Mongolia, and no death was recorded. Following this, let's take a look at current affairs news.
For the first time in Mongolia's military history, the rank of brigadier general has been given to a female officer. Under a presidential decree, Colonel Butler, chief of the training department of the General Staff of the Mongolian Armed Forces, was promoted to the rank of brigadier general. Brigadier General Bodler has twice served as a staff officer for UN peacekeeping operations. She was also the first Mongolian to be deployed as a peacekeeping affairs officer at UN headquarters and the first female Mongolian officer to graduate from the US Air Force Air Command and Staff College. The President of Mongolia emphasized that having a female brigadier general is a significant new development for the personnel structure of the Mongolian armed forces. He noted that the promotion was a clear expression of gratitude for not only the women serving in the military, but for all women, for their valuable achievements and contributions to the country's development and prosperity. The UN General Assembly unanimously adopted a resolution put forward by Mongolia on declaring 2026 the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists. In his presentation of the resolution, His Excellency Ikhwat Warshelov, Mongolia's permanent representative to the United Nations, emphasized that the International Year of Rangelands and Pastoralists will encourage more countries to enhance awareness and knowledge of rangeland sustainability, support the livelihoods and food security of millions of people, boost efforts for investment in pastoral systems and the restoration of degraded rangelands, and accelerate the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Rangeland accounts for more than half of the world's land, with over 200 million people raising livestock in pastoral and agri-pastoral systems. Pastoral farming plays a significant role in the global economy and the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. However, in recent years, rangelands and pastures have been heavily affected by increasing climate variability and soil degradation. The resolution was co-sponsored by 61 UN member states representing all regions of the world.
Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Here comes the international news from our partner agencies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday ordered the suspension of 11 political parties with links to Russia. Among them was the opposition Platform for Life Party, which holds 44 out of 450 seats in the country's parliament.
The activities by politicians aimed to discord and collaboration will not succeed, but they will face a tough response. That is why the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine has decided that, given the large-scale war unleashed by the Russian Federation and links between it and some political structures, the activities of a number of political parties is suspended for the period of martial law, namely Opposition Platform for Life Party of Shari, Nashe, Opposition Bloc, Left Opposition, Union of Left Forces, Держава, Progressive Social Party of Ukraine, Socialist Party of Ukraine, the Socialists, and Volodymyr Saldo's Bloc.
The opposition Platform for Life Party is led by Viktor Medvedchuk, who has friendly ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Notably, Putin is the godfather of Medvedchuk's daughter. Also on the list is the Nashi or Ours party led by Evgeny Muravyov. Before the Russian invasion, British authorities had warned Ukrainian authorities that Russia wanted to install Muravyov as the leader of Ukraine.
Hundreds of multinational companies, especially those in the technology sector, have withdrawn or halted their business in Russia amid its conflict with Ukraine, while the list keeps growing.
Operators began to suspend cooperation with
At least 417 companies have either withdrawn, suspended, or scaled back operations in Russia, according to a list compiled by the Yale School of Management, which continues to grow with a sizable portion made of tech.
It's a cumulative effect of all these products and services vaporizing. Because if you were in Moscow a year ago, it wouldn't feel that different than any other city. But all of a sudden, doing simple things in Moscow, from ATM withdrawals to, buying an iPhone, are vaporizing.
That's a big deal because chips get used in more than just your normal PCs. They can be used in military equipment and other things like that. So you cut off not only the chips, but all the things that are made from the chips. Then the services that leverage the devices made from those chips. By cutting off some of these financial systems, you're cutting off the ability to actually survive and thrive.
Tech giant Apple was one of the first tech companies to stop selling products in Russia. Microsoft, Netflix, Airbnb, and IBM are just a few of the other multi-billion-dollar tech entities that followed suit. Some areas of tech may have greater impact than others. Chief analyst with Tech Analysis Research Bob O'Donnell pointed to computer chip makers like Intel and AMD, and financial tech companies like PayPal suspending Russian sales.
Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. You have watched Monday edition of News Mongolia. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again with more news updates. Stay tuned.